Oh, goody. For once, you brutes managed to escort a prisoner to me without too many visible bruises. Color me impressed. Set the prisoner down there. You may unshackle the prisoner. I doubt some scruffy street urchin possesses much of a threat to me, even with their hands free. Excellent. You're dismissed. Both of you. Leave us together. Alone. Did you not hear me? I said leave us. I trusted you don't need a reminding of how much your emperor hates having to repeat himself. No. Permit me to sincerely apologize for any rough treatment you may have received at the hands of my underlings. My palace guard is hardly staffed by the brightest or gentlest creatures, I know, but they're quite effective at knocking heads together, so I keep them around. Good help is so hard to find, wouldn't you agree? Well, I suppose I shouldn't ask you. You don't look like the sort of person who's ever had a servant. In any case, let's proceed to the reason I summoned you here, to my chambers. Who are you, and what brings you to my domain? Your emperor has asked you a question. If you know what's good for you, you'll answer quickly and truthfully. I am known for many traits, but patience has never been one of them. Who are you? A strange name. You're from someplace far, far away, aren't you? I suspected as much. They tell me that you came here stowed away on a whaling ship. They tell me that they found you hiding below decks, huddled inside a filthy crate, skulking in the shadows like a rat. Is that true? Are you a rat? Really? Are you quite certain of that? Because you don't look like much of a person to me, let alone a civilized one. You look like a frightened little animal, cowering here in front of me, afraid to do so much as meet the eyes of the man that you can sense instinctively is in every possible respect your superior. Do you know, it was my idiotic advisors who counseled me to have you hauled in from the dungeon for questioning? They were convinced you were a spy in the service of our adversaries. As if anyone would be fool enough to entrust such a delicate role to some timid cretin like yourself. Oh, don't think I didn't see the wetness growing in your eyes. Have my words pricked your pride? Have I wounded you? Perhaps you feel as though I'm being needlessly cruel, that I should be more charitable to you, seeing as you're my guest and everything. Well, that's precisely the problem, isn't it? You're not my guest. You're an intruder, an interloper who snuck their way into my empire like a thief in the night, quite uninvited. You're only receiving the degree of courtesy which benefits such a person. Yes, you heard me correctly. My empire. Surely you recognize my face, no? Think hard. Is it familiar? Have you ever seen this stately visage before? Perhaps rendered not in flesh, but in stone, or white marble, or oil paint on one of the majestic statues or portraits or tapestries lining the walls of this palace. Why, there are so many of them, you must have glimpsed at one or two as they marched you down these halls. I suppose I can't entirely fault you for not seeing the resemblance sooner. Talented as the many artisans under my patronage are, no artwork in the world could do justice to the real thing. I do suppose it would be rather impolite, now that you've introduced yourself, for me not to return the courtesy. I am Emperor Kairo, sovereign and supreme ruler of this realm. All that you have seen since you arrived on these shores, every regal balustrade and balcony, every lustrous jewel and gemstone, every common man and mouse belongs to me. And that includes yourself. My, there is something very amusing about the way you're looking at me. Your eyes burn with fear and confusion. These emotions I see all the time in the eyes of my subjects, but in your gaze they're mixed with something else. What is it, I wonder? Some unspoken earnestness? Perhaps a latent, involuntary sense of gratitude that someone as radiant and beautiful as myself is so much as willing to glance in your direction, let alone speak to you. That some inconsequential little ragamuffin like you, somehow, some way, through some fickle twist of fate, ended up slouched at the feet of an emperor. Or is it desire? Look at you squirm. Do I make you uncomfortable? Not enough for you to force you to mask your emotions, apparently. Or do you simply lack the self-control to do so? You know how serious your predicament is. You know very well that I can snap my fingers should I have the slightest inclination and have you locked away in some deep, dark, tiny hole for the rest of your days. Still, you just couldn't help it. Your infatuation with me is written all over your face. You're love-struck. Don't worry, I have a weakness for flattery. One of my admitted vices, and I will confess to being a touch flattered. What's more, you've caught me in an unusually generous mood, so I'm inclined to forgive your impudence. That is, if you play your part to my satisfaction. Get up, on your feet. Follow me to the foyer. Sit down in that lounge chair. Yes, you have my permission. Go on. Oh, was that a little whine I just heard? Is it really so comfortable? Don't answer that. Of course it is. It's plush velvet. Probably the softest, coziest thing you'll ever sit on. Certainly, I bet. It's infinitely more comfortable than that cold, rough, cobbled floor of the dungeon. Let me take a seat next to you. Oh, is that a problem for you? I know it's not a very large chair. It was only built for one, after all. I'm so close to you. Why, my body is practically pressing into you. Are you feeling uncomfortable? No, that's the right answer. Of course you aren't. Such a good little intruder. You know, I was initially planning to bring you up here for a quick chat to appease my advisors, and then throw you back down there. But now, against my better judgment, I'm beginning to think I'd like to get to know you better. There's just something about your demeanor I can't help but be fond of. Even when that demeanor manifests in such a small, pitiful vessel. Would you like to share a meal with your emperor? You look unsure, as though you're wondering if this is all some elaborate trick. That's awfully cute. I'll concede that. But no tricks or traps. My offer is perfectly genuine. Though, of course, no one's forcing you to accept. It's entirely your choice. If you'd prefer, I can always just call my men and have them escort you back to that little cell I dragged you out of, and you can dine on whatever maggot-ridden gruel that they feed you down there instead. That's what a rat would choose, I suppose, dining on dirty scraps in the dark. But you said that you weren't a rat, right? That's what I thought. But that's not what you need to say. Yes, what? You say yes, Emperor, and try not to stammer next time. Good, good. You are a quick learner. You might just have your uses after all. Here, you may finish what remains on that plate. You interrupted me in the middle of my dinner, so there's a fair bit left to eat. Oh, no, don't apologize, darling, though I do appreciate the impulse. That servile tone suits you. I'm glad that I brought you here, truth be told. I was dreadfully bored before, but now I have a new plaything, and that's always a delight. Oh, what's that bashful look? Do you not like being called a plaything? Or are you just too shy to admit that you do like it? Neither way, you do well to get accustomed to the title. It's simply the truth. I don't know what backwater you crawled out of, nor do I care, but you're in my world now, and everyone here is my plaything. It's only that some are more treasured than others. However, that need not be a bad thing. I treat my pets well as long as they play their little roles and keep me entertained. You only have cause to be worried if you disobey me. I do confess, I have a bad habit of breaking my toys when they fail to amuse me. Oh, sincerest apologies. I didn't mean to scare you. I can see that I'm putting you off of your dinner. Don't be frightened. There's nothing to fear so long as you do what I say. Come on, take a bite. You'll love it. I promise. It's braised sunfish with lemon and clover. Only the freshest, juiciest catch from the fishmonger's morning harvest. Prepared painstakingly by my personal chefs. That particular specimen would fetch a pretty penny at a market. Come to think of it, it's probably worth a good deal more than any food you've ever eaten. But here you are, enjoying it free of charge, as my treat. There are benefits to sharing the company of the Emperor. If you serve me well, then you'll come to learn what that is soon enough. Actually, don't use that fork. Put it down. You probably don't even know how to hold it properly. I doubt someone like you's ever taken any classes in etiquette after all. Here, let me put my arm around you and bring you close. I'll feed you. Open your mouth. Do I look as though I'm not being serious? Ask me such a stupid question again and I won't be so forgiving. I said, open your mouth. There we are. Here comes the first bite. Oh, you look so adorable. My pet, eating my food from my fork in my parlor. Close your mouth and chew, darling. You'll use good manners when you eat at my table if you don't want to eat your next meal off the floor. Oh, it is so tasty, isn't it? Better than you've had in a long while, I know. Here, let me feed you another. Open your mouth. It's just delightful watching your expression while you eat. You're so hungry. I can tell that you love nothing more than to tear into that sunfish with both hands and scarf it all down like a rabid animal. But you won't, because you know that you have to be good for me. And that means while you're here, you won't behave like an animal. Unless, of course, I decide that I want you to. Do you like me rubbing your back with my other hand? Here, lean in closer. You wouldn't want to spill anything. Have another bite. Do you need something to drink? You must be parched. Have some white wine. I can tell you how rare and expensive this vintage is, but who are we kidding? Someone like you would hardly know the difference. Instead, I'll only promise it'll slake your thirst. Never sipped wine from a crystal goblet before? You don't have to answer that, darling. Let me just raise it to your lips. Drink as much as you like. The whole thing if you want to. The wine should loosen you up a little too. Take care of that trembling in your hands. Don't think that I didn't notice. Your emperor notices everything. A thirsty one, aren't you? Oh, careful. Don't let it dribble down your chin. Here, let me clean you up. Oh, such a clumsy little pet. You've stained your shirt. Well, it's not like it was in very presentable condition to begin with. We'll need to get you something else to wear. And before that, we'll need to have you bathed. No, don't fuss now. You're doing so well. Don't worry, I'll allow you to finish your dinner first. Open your mouth. Here comes another bite. Very good. Oh, I can tell that you're special. You're so eager to please. If only so it'll earn you more fine silks to recline on and tantalizing food to eat. But that's not all you like, is it? You like attention from me too, don't you? You like it when I rub your back in your hair, when I stroke your cheek. Don't bother being shy and looking away. Your face tells me at a glance all that I need to know. You don't need to be embarrassed. You're hardly the only one who yearns for my company. That list numbers far too many to ever put on paper. You are, however, one of the rare few that receive that pleasure. I can only hope that you're capable of appreciating how lucky you are that I've taken an interest in you. Perfect answer. Yes, Emperor, indeed. You are a quick learner. Until now, I was debating it in my mind, but I think I've made my decision. I'm going to keep you. You're going to be my new project. Do you know what that means? Of course not. You don't know anything. It means I'm going to fill that empty head of yours with so many wonderful things, and that if you behave and please me, maybe I'll fill your hands with a thing or two as well. It means I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to have you cleaned up and made prim and proper. and you're going to learn to serve me just as I want to be served. Here, don't speak. Just have another bite. Actually, you'll eat it directly from my hand this time. Oh, you look a bit uncertain. Are you reluctant to eat from my fingers? No, of course you're not. There you go. Eat it all. Good. Consider this a microcosm of our future relationship. I'll hold you close and feed you the most extravagant treats. In exchange, you'll be good and loyal and obedient. Does that sound like a fair trade? Oh, come now. That didn't sound quite enthusiastic enough. Convince me. You know, if you won't provide me sufficient cause to be sure of your loyalties, I just might be forced to reevaluate whether or not you're a spy after all. And then... Oh, relax, calm down. You should hear the shrill desperation in your voice. It's absolutely adorable. I'll have to make you beg more often. But I'm only playing with you, pet. Don't worry yourself. You're safe with me. I know you'll be loyal. I can already tell. Here, have another bite. Oh my, it's grown quite late, hasn't it? After you finish your dinner, we'll retire. Yes, I said we. You didn't think I'd be so cruel enough to send you to sleep down in that cell again, did you? No, that's no place for my loyal servant. And that's what you are, isn't it? You'll find your rest here in my chambers. Yes. Now here, another treat is waiting for you in your emperor's hand. Very good. I have so many delightful things in store for you. Hello everyone, it's Prince Kairo here, and I wanted to give a special thanks to all of my patrons. Without you all, content like this would not be possible. So special thank you to Kim Tae-hyun, Kokushibo, Lai, Doichi, Mushroom Queen, Willa, Jude, Raven Still, Mad Hatter, Nova Parker, Washu072, Kimmy Clancy, Pluto Baker, Shadowcat, Lynn Whiting, Vicky, Kaylee, Zippy Pop 219, Vengeance Blood Rose, Viscit, Mermaid, Limelight Soda, and, of course, a special thanks to my beloved pet Ghost. Your prince loves every single one of you, and I want you all to have an amazing day. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my audios, and I appreciate all of your support. I love you all. Mwah.